Hello mortal. My name is Grace. I've been around for only couple days, and I'm already regretting it. But whatever. At least there are many hotties here. Yeah, sue me. Anyway, here's a quick guide. Let's start with my external trait. When I walk around, my WAP is dropping, so I leave a trail of water. Each drop lasts 20 seconds. If my trail forms a closed shape, it becomes an abyss. What's an abyss? It's a zone in which survivors might get damage if they stay for too long. An abyss zone stays for 20 seconds. When survivors are inside the abyss, they progressively get wet. And if the humidity reaches 100%, they will get damage equal to basic attack. Humidity increases 10% each second, and survivors within the abyss vault 10% slower and decode 20% slower. After 7 seconds of leaving the abyss zone, survivors' humidity will decrease 5% each second. It means survivors need twice the time to get rid of my wet. Note that, 1. If a survivor was inside the abyss the moment of its formation, they will get instantly 25% wet too. Once the survivor get the wet damage, they won't be inflected by humidity for the next 5 seconds. 3. Around shared survivors, humidity increases only 5% each second. 4. The trails that form an abyss zone cannot contribute in the making of another abyss zone, even if it forms a closed shape. Now let's move on to the active skills. First, I have a fancy-ass harpoon. It comes in handy when stabby survivors. But it does more than that. I can throw it, and it will leave wet trails on its way. And when I call it back it leaves a trail as well. It's so freaking cool because it's an easy and effective way to quickly form an abyss zone. And also because when I drop the harpoon, I move 30% faster. I can also just simply spike it to the ground and call it back later. Now, note that. 1. Without my harpoon, I can't hit survivors with basic attack, nor pick them up if they're down. 2. My harpoon will automatically come to me if it's further than 42 meters away, or if the skill duration is over. And finally, the dashing ability. Tier 1. When I throw my harpoon, I can dash towards the screen. And if I hit a survivor, I immediately inflict 30% wet. Tier 2, same thing, but it inflicts 50% wet. Note that, each time I throw my harpoon, I have 2 dashes, stacked and ready to go, then they recharge when used. Now that we have the abilities figured out, let's move on to persona and traits. First of all, persona and traits are never fixed. It really depends on the map and the survivors line up, but there are generally few preferences. You can choose whatever you want off course, but it is for the best if I go with right and down build. Because my skills tier 1 and 2 are definitely helpful, but not indispensable. So there's no need to the left build. You can choose the up build, but since it's in my advantage to keep a survivor looping the same area, I think it's better to give them a fake feeling of safety around their pallets and windows. And then you can invest the rest of the points wherever you want. Personally, I'd go for full Berserker to speed up the attack recovery, and Hunt, which adds up to my movement's speed. As for the traits, you can go with pretty much anything. Patroller can be particularly an interesting choice though. It only takes 10 seconds inside the abyss zone to receive the wet damage. Imagine being able to pin survivors inside for the zone and then dash towards them. That's pretty much a guaranteed wet damage. And then late game you switch to teleport. Peepers can be helpful as well to slow them inside the zone. Although in big maps you might need teleport to cover for the lack of map control. Alright, we're now equipped for the battle. How to put these in use? Well, my main strategy is creating an abyss around the kiting areas so survivors have 2 choices, either stay inside and get damaged by the wet or leave, and risk a basic hit. The best way to do it is by throwing the harpoon from the side of a kiting area, move to the other side, and retrieve the harpoon. And by that you created the abyss. Be careful not to let survivors have too much distance from you while you're creating the abyss. Chair camping. You want to chair the survivors in open chairs, around which you can create a wet abyss. Try not to create it too early because it only lasts 20 seconds. And you don't want it dry before half chair, because that's when survivors will try to rescue. It's even better if you create the abyss when survivors are inside, that way they will immediately get 25% wet. When they get inside, try to dash towards them to increase their humidity even more. It could even be the perfect chance to use the patroller to pin them down as the humidity increases, and then you follow up with basic attack. How to counter. It's weird that I'm giving advice on how to counter me, but what the hell, let's talk about it. The best way to do that is by transitional kiting. Keep transitioning from one area to the other once you make sure I'm behind a large obstacle. So by the time I rotate, you already transitioned. Although be careful, I can use my dash to catch up, but that means I won't be able to hit you until I retrieve my harpoon, and then I have a 7 seconds cooldown before I can throw it again. As for the rescue, you need to get in a little bit late to avoid the humidity, but early enough to rescue before half, or otherwise you'll have to deal with more than just my wet. Yup, the waterfall of thank yous. Once you get in, you need to rescue as fast as possible, because it's only a matter of time before you get the wet attack. And when I say act quickly, I mean really quickly. You need to get done with the rescue before the humidity reaches 50% because you still need to leave the abyss before it reaches 100%. Need I to remind you that all this is happening within 10 seconds. That is if I didn't get you with my wet dashing off course. Then you'll have only 5 seconds. Keep in mind that I'm still new to the manor, and so much can change. But for now, that's pretty much all what you need to know about me. I hope it was helpful, and I hope I didn't miss anything important. If I did, please don't hesitate to correct me in the comments section. And don't forget to click the clickers. Till we meet again, mortal, bye bye.